I hope we're, okay. We've really had some technical difficulties this afternoon. It must be because it's 90 degrees here in Minnesota. I'm sure that's the problem. So I'm not going to start all over again. We did just give you the trivia question, and I'm going to repeat that because that's something you're all very interested in, is being able to participate in the trivia contest that we do the first Thursday during Facebook Live as celebrating the 45th anniversary of the original Snow Village. And the question again is, name the piece and the year introduced for the very first Snow Village piece with a water feature. So you have 24 hours to put your answer into the comment section, and remember to mark it under the comments trivia answer and then whatever your answer is, you know. So let's get back into this historical piece. And this is really one of my very favorite pieces. This is Country Quilts and Pies from Bucks County in the original Snow Village. It came out in 2001 and retired in 2004. Tom Bates designed this piece, and when I was looking for the set this morning, I couldn't find the accessory. I was looking and looking and looking, and then if I would have read what was on the box, the accessory came with the house. And I really wanted to tell you the story about both the piece and the accessory. Originally, this piece was going to be called Melinda's Quilts and Pies because I am a quilter. And I think how it got to be Quilts and Pies is because I was out on a signing event with Tom Bates probably in 2000, before this piece came out. And we were talking about, you know, family and home things, and we were talking about birthdays. And I said, oh, I never get a birthday cake. I'm not a cake person. When I have a birthday, I always get pie. And I always get a cherry pie because my birthday's in February. So when Tom does, and he knew I was a quilter. So when he designed this piece, he made it quilts and pies. And I guess, you know, if you're in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, that might go together. And as you can see here, there are little pies cooling on the porch railing, and I can see one of them definitely is a cherry pie. And it came with the accessory. And the accessory really doesn't have a name, but it's a mother and a little girl, both carrying quilts, probably either taking them into the quilt shop or taking them out of the quilt shop, whichever your story is going to be. And I always like to say this is me, and this is one of my daughters. Now I do have more than one daughter, but I only have one daughter who quilts, and so this would be me and my daughter Katie. So this was Tom's tribute to me as a quilter way back in 2001. So that's our historical piece for this time. It hardly seems possible that that piece was brought out 20 years ago, but it was. And let's get into looking at some of our nifty new Halloween accessories. And I was going to just get them out and show them to you, but I thought, well, let's look at them kind of in context in the display. So Rebecca's going to be moving the camera, and we are going to move over to our Halloween display. And I'm trying not to trip on the wires here. We'll start right over here. We good? Mm-hmm. Good. So Rebecca's going to kind of zero in on the pieces. You really don't need to see me. And I wanted to show you just a couple of the new accessory pieces that I think are worth looking at least a couple of times. This first one is called the Dark Shadows Backdrop Tree. Say that fast 3 times. It's brand new for this year. And if you can see, it's a narrow piece. It's the perfect kind of piece that you would want to use if you're going to be doing a display where the back of it is like on a bookcase or something where you have an actual back where you don't want this to be too deep. So this is very shallow. It's only 2.5 inches deep, and it stands about 14 inches tall, which is really nice because now the Haunted Mansion here is a pretty big piece, and this tower is way above it, and it looks really cool in the display. And so that's the first one I wanted to show you. And it's a piece that only retails for about $14. So it's a tree that you're going to want to have several of and be able to use them. You know, if you place it this way in one part of your display and then turn it around and put it the other way, it would look like 2 completely different trees. So that's one I wanted to show you. Also in this same display, I wanted to point out these two really tall pines. They're called haunted pines. They come in a set of two. One is 12 inches tall and one's 10 inches tall. They're black, they're glittery. They almost have a hint of purple in them. And again, they are on the narrow side, so they're really good to use like behind a building where you don't want, where you would like some interest, but you don't want them to be too deep. So I think those are really nice, nice trees. And again, they're called haunted pines. Standing right below here is, we've done this kind of snow fencing for a number of years, and we've done some in the Halloween line. This is called the Halloween glitter fence. It's a 13-inch piece, and it only stands about 2.5 inches tall. It's very flexible, so you can wrap it around a tree or make it do whatever you need it to do. It also, because of the wire in between the slats, can be cut. If you want a little section here and a bigger section over on the other side, that'll work out really good. This particular fencing also is made with pumpkin orange and ghoulish purple. Now this one happens to have the purple and the orange on the fencing, so you can get it several different ways and make it work really well in your display. And one more thing on this display, Rebecca, before we move, are the midnight moss trees. I think these are kind of nice too. They're black trees. They've got some moss that's pre-attached in the boughs of the tree, and they are 7 and 8 inches tall. And of course, they have those wire limbs that you can bend and make look as creepy as you want to. And it looks like somebody really didn't take a whole lot of time bending these out, but I love fluffing trees. I think that's great fun, and sometimes you can make them look pretty creepy and spooky by how you bend the branches. So those are the midnight moss trees, and they come in a set of 2. We'll say goodbye to the hitchhikers, and we'll move over to this second display. This is, of course, Elvira's house, but what I wanted to show you here, I'll put my notes down, is this piece. Now, I think we've talked about this piece before, but really it's worth mentioning again. This is called the Halloween silhouette. It is made of wood. It's basswood. It comes with the base off of it, so it comes flat, which is really good for storage in case you have some issues with having too many things to store, don't we all? You can use it either way, and as Rebecca pointed out, the bird can be facing left or it can be facing right. We had kind of a laugh about that before. But it's glittered on both sides and really picks up the light. If your room is a little darker, you will see the glitteriness on it, and it's almost kind of a copper color over black wood. So I think it really will pick up the light nicely. And again, these are the haunted pines in that display, so we've made real good use of them in some of our little vignettes. We're going to move down just a little bit further, and we are going to look at some more here in the Halloween display. Right here on this slab of wood from a tree, we've got Patty's Pumpkin Patch. So this is our little fall display. And there's 2 trees here that I wanted to point out to you. I think there is. Yeah, here we go. And this one is called the Yellow Ribbon Oak. So oak trees is something we haven't done a whole lot of. And, you know, tie a yellow ribbon has long been a symbol to tie on to trees and fence posts to welcome home our military. So this handsome autumn maple will welcome our friends and family to take a little, and invite them to take a little closer look at your village display. And this is really a nice looking, sturdy oak tree. I really like that. And again, it's got the bendable leaves and won't shed the way some other trees can. So So that's a real nice tree. That's new for this year. And then the other one I wanted to point out was the apple tree, with the tiny little apples in the tree with some leaves still on it, adding a little color. And again, these are both tall enough that they will stand out behind your buildings as well as adding to your display. Now I don't have heights on either one of these, but you can see they're probably at least, this one's probably around 8 or 8.5 inches tall, and this one's probably 10 inches tall. So good sized trees. And we're going to move down just a little bit to this one right in here. I hope you can see that well enough. Do I have to? Okay, good. This one is called the lit jack-o'-lantern tree. What I really like about this is it really tells a story. It's a whole base with pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns and some gourds on it. And then the black tree, of course, is one of our wire-wrapped trees with lights already in it that you can flex and bend and make work in your display. It's 7.5 inches tall. Now it does light. It comes with a battery box, but you can convert that to AC using an adapter or using our power strip to light it as well, so that you don't have to bother with the adapter. Okay, then we're going to move just right over here, and I think this one is really cool lit, and it looks better in the dark. This is called the haunted tree. And as you can see, the tree is kind of possessed. It's got lots of...
It's a little bit better if you block the light on it. Yeah.
Does that help?
That's a bit. Gave you the color blue at least.
Yeah. It's really kind of a neat tree. It's like a tree that's exploding with some kind of mystic creature inside, and this will not get too hot. This is an acrylic, almost like a polyester fill with a blue light on the inside. This has been on all day, and you can still touch it. There's no problem with that coming out with the light. But the hands that are coming out from inside, I don't know what kind of monsters they've got in there, or who came up with a silly idea like this, but it's a cool tree. It really is. Love it. Okay, and we're going to move down just a little bit to, I'm going to, yeah, we're going to this is not a new one. This has been out for a couple of years. We've got the lit ghost in the graveyard. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's an acrylic ghost coming out of the grave. If you've got a good graveyard scene going, you may want more than one of these. And we've got a little boy who's really flying his bat kite in front there. Hope that doesn't mess things up too much. But this is really a neat accessory. In fact, it was so popular the first year that it came out that the next year I suggested, you know, this would be a great one to have in Dickens Village, which is why we came out with the Ebenezer Scrooge in the graveyard piece that is based on the same technology. The last one right here that I want to point out is this one. I really like this piece. It is called the Illuminated Ghost Tree, and those ghosts light up. And again, that's a battery operated setup that you can use with an AC adapter, and I think it really adds light to a dark corner. And let's see, do I have? And that one is about 6.5 inches tall. I really like it, the dimensional ghosts that are part of this display, and there are 5-dimensional ghosts on there. The last one don't forget about using our Twinkle Bright trees. Now for Halloween this is a purple Twinkle Bright tree. And we have them also in multicolor and in orange. And those can be made as spooky looking as you want, because again, they are based out of wire, and you can bend them or make them straight and tall if you need to, and bend the individual LED lights, and it'll really give you a neat effect. Again, a nice way to brighten up a little dark corner in your display. two last things here. This one is new this year. This is called the Haunted Slime Tree. I wasn't too sure about it when I first saw it. It's kind of growing on me. I think it will be perfect to use with the Ghostbusters theme pieces. And if you get it under the right lights, they are not meant to be black light sensitive, but I think it'll almost look like that when you get it in this display. And here is our orange glitter fence that we were talking about before. There it is in the orange. And then down here, one last thing I'd like to show you, because this to me is a whole story all by itself. This is called the Fright Night Lit Base. This is new for this year, and I like it when they do something like this. It's great if you need a big piece to put in your display someplace. It could be part of the graveyard, and of course here's our 2021 Rest in Peace Tombstones piece with the accessory out here. But because there is a tombstone on this piece, it would be great in the graveyard. The fence matches the glitter fences that we have, and of course a black sisal tree with orange lights on it. So those are the pieces I wanted to point out today.
So I'm sorry, does the Twinkle Brights work on a regular adapter?
I will have to look that up, and I will respond online as soon as I get that answer for you. I don't remember. I think we have changed some of them. Some of them used to be just battery operated. Some of them you could use with an AC/DC adapter, and then some of them, I think, depending upon when they're made, where they were made, they have their own adapter. So I will look those up specifically for you. Whoa. Yep. Yeah, that's all right. We'll take care of him in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So let's repeat the last trivia question again before we end today. And that is to name the piece, and it's a Snow Village piece. Name the piece and the year introduced for the very first Snow Village piece with a water feature. Do we have people who are answering, Rebecca?
Oh, yes.
Good. Our next Facebook Live will be July 1st, so right before the 4th of July holiday. And we'll be talking to one of our favorite guests, and I think one of your favorite guests too. And that will be Rick Jackson, our creative director here at Department 56. Till next time, we'll see you.